you're going to appreciate this, Lucas, but I built the first part of the presentation in Notion. All right, infinity screen.
So now when you click the three buttons at the top right,
Uh-huh.
and then you go, where's your present?
Uh-oh. Is it because you have to be on like a pro plan or something?
I have it under move to trash. Maybe this is a pro plan. Okay, then never mind.
All right.
Apologies, actually.
Oh, that's all right.
I was mistaken.
All right. So the first part, what I want to do, and by the way, like you guys are more than welcome to chime in. This doesn't have to be just me like presenting to you. Any questions you have, any clarifying things, because even though somebody might watch this replay, they'll probably have the same questions you have. So feel free to interrupt. It's going to be hard for me to look at chat, so I'd rather you wait for a good time to interrupt rather than expect me to see the chat. So I'm basically just going to explain how I think about school funnel building, and then I'm actually going to like build out a funnel so that you can see it. That's the plan. So pre-work. Usually the first couple things I want to think about is, okay, what's the end goal? Where am I trying to deposit this person, right? Which sounds terrible, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're collecting people, right? And you're depositing them somewhere. Or you're collecting information about people and you're depositing that information somewhere. And so what's the end goal? I think that's the most important thing to figure out first. Because I've met so many people who like send out a lead magnet and they're like, oh, either they don't collect email addresses, or when they collect the email address, they don't do anything with it. So like, what are you even doing that for? Number two, what's the customer journey to get there? So when I say funnels, I think journey. I think people get confused sometimes, or they don't fully understand what a funnel is. The way I simplify it from my own brain, what is the actual like journey? What are the steps to get someone from A to Z, to the end goal? Third, what's the free give? Basically a high value opt-in. What can I offer them in return for whatever action I want them to take, right? So if it's collecting an email, what can I offer them that they'll happily give me their email? Or if I want them to join my free school, what can I offer them that they'll gladly join my free school? And then finally, what's the entry point? Which involves like your traffic source. Like, how are you collecting that information? What's the entry point, right? How are you driving traffic to that thing? And we're going to dig into each one of these. So that's the pre-work. Those are kind of the things whenever I go to create a new funnel, I have to think through. So what do I mean by end goal? So end goal could be entry into your free school, right? I have great community leaders. It's a free school. With the announcement on school news yesterday, maybe that changes in the future. I don't know yet, honestly. But right now it's a free school. And so that's one of the end goals that I have in mind for today's build, is getting someone to join the free school. From there, I want to build relationships, right? I want to nurture. I want to make sure that the people that come in feel taken care of, that they're getting what they need out of the group, what they need from me, and then eventually make offers inside the free school. So I just did this recently with the cohort that I launched, and in the future I plan on launching different courses, different programs, other things that hopefully people want to buy. Well, to get to have a pool to sell something, you need a pool of people to make those offers too. And so that's part of the end goal. And then use email to support those launches and sales. I did that recently with the cohort launch. I sent out specific sales emails, trying to drive more sales calls. What's up, Charmaine? Okay, so when we talk about, I don't think I'm using Notion very well here. I didn't mean to do it this way. So I'm still learning. Anyway, so when we talk about the customer journey, what's the funnel? Yeah, what'd you say?
No, I was just like laughing.
Yeah. It's a mess. I know.
No, it's pretty structured. You just have like more options than I thought you were.
What's the customer journey to get there? What's the funnel that we want to build? So there's two options I'm thinking through right now. And literally, this is when I think of a funnel, when I think of a journey, this is how I try to picture it. They see the high value opt-in, right? Ooh, I want that. They click the school link. They join the school. From there, I pick them up. They receive a welcome message. They get massive value from the community. They connect with me. That's kind of the ideal direct free school to paid opportunity that anyone would have. This is essentially what you would build if you want the most direct path to get someone from another platform or some kind of basically another platform to get them to join your school. The pros of this: it's direct. You automatically get their email anyway, and they're closer to whatever product you're selling, whether it's the Ascension offer. So it's either the cohort or courses for me in particular. But for you, it could be something else. It could be a 7-day free trial, and then conversion on the back end of that. What are the cons? Well, if they don't know what Skool is, it's a new platform, or if they're even on Skool, it's a new community, right? So there is additional friction just in the sense of it being on another platform that they may or may not be familiar with. It's a bigger ask than, hey, give me your email, right? You're asking them to register or at least click to join. Everything might be unfamiliar, right? Even when you join a new community, you still have to navigate the waters. Where is this thing that I was promised? How do I find it? Where's it at in the classroom? Oh, I see a start here post. Who's this owner, right? There's just a lot of questions immediately when you join any kind of Skool community. There's less if they understand what Skool is and they're already on it, but it's still there's still something, right? There's some anxiety joining the new community, and so you have to be aware of that. And then two, in order to consume the content again or get more of your content, they do have to log back into the platform, right? To get nurtured, they have to be there. And we've all seen that, anyone who has a free Skool knows that there's a big percentage of your members that just aren't even paying attention anymore. And so you do have to deal with that. Option two, now there's a million options, but these are the two that I'm thinking through today and what I want to talk through. Option two is they see the high value opt-in. Instead of straight to Skool, I ask them for their email address. Then they receive that high value opt-in outside of Skool, right? So it could be an email, it could be a Google Doc, it could be a landing page, right? That they collected from. There's a lot of options to deliver on whatever that high value opt-in is. Eventually, they get invited to join the Skool to connect further and for more support, courses, free stuff. Ideally, they join the Skool and then kind of the same. They receive the welcome message, get massive value, connect with me. Okay. So it's a less direct path because it adds the additional step of collecting an email first. But what are the pros of this? And I'll show you guys some examples of these too before I start kind of building them out. Pros: less friction than having to join a platform or a new Skool community. You get their email right away. There's no learning curve usually with what they, getting what they signed up for, because you're either delivering it through the email or a website or, something, or Google Doc. And then you can directly sell to an email list if you're low ticket or if you're just trying to book calls. So those are kind of the pros of collecting an email as opposed to getting them in your Skool right away. Now, the cons of doing it this way, specifically for a Skool community owner, is they're still a step away from entering the Skool, right? That's not the first action that they take to get the thing. The first action is just giving you their email address. Requires more education. Hey, what is Skool? Requires more nurturing. Here's why you should keep connecting with me. It's hard to sell a high ticket through email only for most people, especially if they never became familiar with Skool, right? If I'm sending out sales emails to someone who's not even on Skool, I just collected their email address and I'm saying, hey, join my Skool, join my cohort, they're going to have a lot of questions. And usually confusion means you're losing. It's kind of the saying in marketing. If you're confusing, you're losing. And then the nurture sequence changes. I have to send out a weekly newsletter through email as opposed to just broadcasting a post in Skool. So one's a little bit cleaner, straight to Skool. The other one is collecting email. There's room for both.
A few thoughts on that. It sounds like
Yep.
the second one would be more viable when we have a low ticket Skool community.
Mhm.
And the first one would be because we do want to, I think you mentioned this before at some point, that we want to have one place that is free, which allows us to collect as many um, future potential clients as possible. So if we only have a low ticket, then we definitely need to have something like an email list, because otherwise, like, we don't own anything, and we don't have a way to, like, actually contact people, and they're just gonna, like, churn more quickly. So
Yep.
option 2 seems to work very well if we don't have a free community, but we still want to collect people's data and information. It's like if we just send them to the low ticket and then they leave, we may never get them back again.
Exactly. Exactly. No, you're exactly right. So if you have a free school and that's your model, free school, paid school, or free school, and you kind of pull high ticket from that, you use that as your like nurture. Um, the more direct, the better, always. And then you're exactly right with the other one. The other one is, hey, 100 people visited my about page. 96 of them didn't sign up. I would like to collect some of them so that I can try to get them into my community again. And so with pickleball school and savvy, a lot of our we don't they those two communities do not have free communities. They have a free trial, so we have some direct, but mostly what we do is we try to collect emails for our email list so that we can sell down the road because it is low ticket. And I can show you this. So lock left defense, this is a free high value opt-in. You get a PDF for your first name. So this is with Savvy Basketball. The Lock Left is a defensive system that we champion. So we collect emails with this. Whenever someone downloads this free Lock Left PDF, they immediately get it triggers an automation for Beehive. So this is through Go High. This is getting complicated, but this website's through Go High Level. Go High Level sends an automation to Zapier. Zapier sends it to Beehive. Beehive sends them an email that says, "Here's your free PDF." But then it also says over the next 5 days, you're going to get 5 emails that specifically help you learn the lock left defense. And we do not sell in those first couple emails. It's all about nurture. Instead, we wait till about the fourth, fifth, and then we usually send like a bonus one. Hey, by the way, if you really like this, you can either buy the course for $197 or you can join the school community on a 7-day free trial. So that's an example of an email path.
And
Another,
Jason,
yeah,
why don't we directly connect Beehive? Because if Beehive also have a funnel, welcome email, and directly link it to Beehive, why should we need an intermediate?
you don't. So the reason we do it through Go High Level first is just because we have a Go High Level account. That's what we built all our landing pages through. But you can certainly just host, and I do this too. You can, if you have a Beehive with your newsletter, you can host. You can make a post with a link and just send them to the link.
Hmm.
So you can do it that way too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that there is this way also connecting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the more direct, the better, always. But you also have to work with the tools you got. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Here's another example. So if you have a quiz or some type of assessment that people would find valuable, this is a time too where like they take this test, right? You give your email address, but it's hard after this to get them to join a school, but it's easier to collect that email address and then on the back end hit them with some nurture emails in the same way to eventually get them into the school. And then finally, this is that pickleball guy's website. This goes straight to school, right? So we would drive traffic to this website. It basically works like a sales page in a way, and that would go straight to school. So those are just meant to be a few examples of basically what I just said, because I know you can get lost a little bit in that. All right. So now when I talk about a high value opt-in, basically what I want to convey with this is 5 even now, but mostly last 5 to 10 years, most opt-ins have been like a free PDF. Hey, download my free PDF, give me your email address, and you deliver the PDF and you get their email, or you send them a link to school, whatever, to get your PDF, however you decide to do that. Things are shifting, and I think a lot of it is because of AI. It's easier to create more than just a PDF. And so when I think of a high value opt-in, I think videos are always going to be more about, and this is perceived value, by the way. Someone is going to perceive a video course as more valuable than a text PDF. A deep guide is typically going to be considered more valuable than a one-off uh, Google Doc or some kind of tool or whatever, right? The deeper you can go, typically the better. Now, with that said, there is an outlier. If you solve a very specific, so in your case, Charmaine, a very specific and lucrative problem, you can get away with a one pager or something super short. It doesn't have to be deep as long as it solves that very specific problem. And the reason I say you, Charmaine, is because what you do is you help people get new jobs, right? That's super valuable to a lot of people, especially if they're deep, they just lost their job or the writing's on the wall and they know they're going to lose their job. So you can do something very short and small, but most of the time you're better off doing some kind of course or deep guide. If you do a multi-part thing, it has to be able to be consumed quickly because people just don't have the attention span. I've literally downloaded or gotten lead magnets where it's like a 2,000 word email. And I'm just like, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to read this. And so you have to be aware of that. And whenever I see that, uh, I think this could have been a series of 4 or 5 emails, each one 500 words. And it's more likely the person is going to consume it. And you get the additional like days of nurture, which is nice. I also believe that there's no such thing as giving too much. We all get worried about like, oh, I don't want to give it the secret sauce. I don't want to give away, the good stuff. But the truth is, we actually buy from people who give us the most for free. And so we want to get away from this idea that you can give away too much. And then the worst thing you can do, I think, these days is just let it be straight AI slop. It was obviously written by AI. People are able to tell these days very quickly. And so you want to take, it's okay to use AI. And I'm going to show you how I use AI to create one of these. But let's put in ourselves into that AI. Let's make sure that we're being specific and it's not just something that anyone could deliver, because that defeats the purpose. You're not just giving someone a PDF, you're trying to get them to buy something from you down the road. And then these are my preferred high value opt-ins. So if you're sending someone to school, like we just said, if you're sending someone to school, I love having a course or a video inside that school. I have this with 30 Days to Paid, the 3-day About Page Upgrade, the School Marketing Masterclass. Like those are kind of my high value opt-ins, and they're straight in school. If you're collecting emails or sending someone an email first, then my preferred high value opt-in is an educational email course delivered over 5 days.
Something to add here on the high value opt-ins, like when doing something in the classroom, I was always make it actionable, because consuming information is like cheaper and cheaper. And
Yep.
if we can get people to actually do something, Hamosi puts it quite nicely. Like if we consume something without changing our behavior, then we haven't learned anything. And
Right.
learning only happens when we are actually changing something. So having some form of action items, like do this thing, that really helps to make sure that people, because like I can consume like everything about quantum mechanics, but then I still have no idea. It's like it went over my head and I don't remember anything. But if I, okay, bad example. It's like if I build a rocket, then I have learned something because I
Yeah.
couldn't have done it before. So we kind of like how you have the rocket there. It's like we want people to like actually build their rocket and not just reading about how they can build a rocket.
Right. And that's one thing I try to do with 30 Days to Paid. Each part of this has, hey, make a, well, not the overview. Hey, respond to this post, right? And you can even see other people's posts. Like, here's your action steps to take for this particular thing. Watch the video, complete your numbers, audit worksheet, upload, and then post your 1 to 2 sentence in the comment, right? And I think that's super important to have some kind of implementation involved in it, especially since the end goal is to sell something. You want them to take as many actions as possible by the time you have a conversation, because they need to see that A, you know your stuff, but B, that like they can solve a problem because you help them solve that problem. So yeah,
You
that's
know,
super valuable stuff.
Jason, I always ask to myself is that where is this boundary? Where should I start making a difference between a free content and a paid content? So, for example, in the cohort, so there will be support from me, which cannot be which I cannot provide everyone in free. But apart from support and accountability, if everything is free, why would they sign up for the cohort? Wait, so this is I ask this a lot.
Well, let me ask you, have you ever consumed free content and not did the thing?
Uh, yes,
Do you
yes,
always take action from free content?
not always.
Okay, neither do they.
Hmm.
Anybody, most people, when they get something for free, don't take an action to actually accomplish the outcome. And I can tell you as a fact, most people don't make it past day 2 or day 3 on 30 Days to Paid. Even though literally I have a 30-day program that if you follow those 30 days, you would make money on Skool. Nobody ever makes it past the first week.
Okay, interesting.
Right. So what you're doing is you're presenting yourself as like, hey, I'm an expert. Let me prove I'm an expert. The video also lets them kind of like, get to know your personality a little bit, make sure they vibe with you, see your face, all that good stuff. They maybe take a few actions, but they don't ever finish the thing. And that goes for paid and free, by the way. Everyone always says like, oh, people who pay attention, which is true to a point. But if I 100% have at least 20 courses in my email that I paid $9 for, $17 for, $29 for, $97 for, that I never even finished.
Yeah.
And so that implementation, the connection to you, the cohort part of that, the accountability, that's the thing you can charge for, because then they're more likely to do it.
Yeah.
I've personally stopped buying courses because I know I'm not going to finish it. But what I am enjoying are these boot camp style courses where it's a live person, you have homework between the meetings, and then you're supposed to show up and bring something that you created so that they can diagnose it or dissect it or help you make it better. And so I'm a big fan of these live course models, boot camps, challenges, uh, um, cohorts, masterminds, things where I'm actually talking to people as opposed to just like consuming on my computer screen.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you. Uh, I bought something for $9, especially for the low tickets thing. You have a less incentive to follow the program because you haven't engaged a lot. But the
Right.
moment you engage, especially with a high ticket product, you have this alert. You want your ROI, and then you
Yeah.
take massive action.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is like with something that we do ourselves, and I kind of talked a little bit about this in the car talk video. So the ideal thing that happens in a course or program or any kind of cohort is that you transform. You go from not knowing something to knowing something and take an action so that you get the outcome that it promises. But when you're doing it just with a computer screen, any amount of friction could be my phone dinging, could be my wife coming in, could be I saw an email came through. Any amount of friction makes us lose focus. But when we're talking one on one with someone or even in a small group, we tend to pay more attention and we get to ask questions. okay, but how does this apply to me and what I do? Oh, I didn't think about it that way, right? It's harder to apply those things and pay absolute attention to a computer screen alone than it is a person.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And that's what I mean by transformation doesn't happen in isolation. Almost nobody has been transformed by my 30 days to paid program. A week into the cohort, multiple people have already told me that this has been the best investment they've ever made, which is awesome, to hear from my standpoint. And it's just cool to see like the transformations happening in real time.
I even find that when we're talking about coaching, that a group coaching cohort is more effective than one-on-one coaching. Because in one-on-one coaching, you can get overwhelmed very quickly. And a lot of people start with one-on-one coaching. So they are basically opening up this like huge water hose and be like, here, drink all of that. And it's like, too much, too much. Um, but in a cohort, we kind of see what other people are also doing. And then through that, we are more likely to take action because we see other people taking action. And also we see other people like they talk and it's like, hey, I've had like a really rough day today. And then it's like, even though you had a rough day as well, you're gonna jump in and tell them why they are amazing. And they are going to do the same thing with you. And this doesn't happen in one-on-one coaching because it lacks this peer support. And I found the peer support and just being connected with people who are in a similar spot is so powerful to just show us that it's possible.
Lucas, I this is what I was feeling that I never coached someone one-on-one, a paid coaching one-on-one. I had been helping a lot of people one-on-one with their calls, but when I did in April the free cohort, I saw the same energy that you're saying. This peer that 5 people joined, people were asking the questions, other people were learning from the question other people asked. So this I'm also, the next thing I'm going to do, I want to focus more on the cohort. And as Jason, you're saying is that this accountability, this that you will not leave the class if they are 5%, or or you're combining, rather than if it's just a course, you own it. So I think the cohort is the best of the both worlds, courses and the one-on-one.
Agreed. Yeah, love it. Okay, and then finally, the last bit of teaching, and then we're going to get into the work basically, is what's the entry point? So understanding like, okay, cool, you have this great lead magnet, you have this great, high value opt-in, like how are you going to share it? And I think a lot of people can forget about that aspect of it. So the option, I mean, there's multiple options, but the two that I kind of think of is social channel, right? And this can be organic or paid. Or landing page, but even on a landing page, well, you still have to drive traffic to the landing page, right? And I've known so many people, especially with AI. It's like, oh, I created this killer like Claude landing page. Look at it; it looks so good. Okay, it does look good, but like, who's going to that, right? How are you driving traffic to that? So you have to think through not only the entry point, but how are people getting to it, and then do the work. I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment while I get that stuff ready. Any questions, thoughts, or anything? Oh, hi, Cody. Sorry, it's hard for me to see both screens when I'm like sharing. Sorry, I can't see the chat. I can't see who's joining, but welcome.
We don't hear you, Cody. I think it's like you
Oh.
may have a different mic.
I double muted there on my.
Oh, we heard you say that, but now we can't hear you if you're still talking.
Yeah, sorry, I was in like another one. So, yeah, I'm still learning how to use the school feature here.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. Okay. So thinking through those things that I just mentioned, here's basically what up until this point, I've had 3 funnels go into great community. I guess I should say that. So my ultimate goal is to get as many people into the paid cohort as possible. But first step along that way is I want to get as many people into great community leaders as possible, because that's my free community. That's where I meet everyone. That's where I nurture. That's where, I find out if we're even, a good fit to work together or not. I don't sell the cohort directly. And that's probably going to be the way it is, moving forward. So what I want to sell is free entry into my school community, great community leaders. And so up until this point, I've had, let's see, I closed out the Canva file. I've had 3 funnels. Here, I can share here. Yeah, see, Cody, we're all learning here. No worries. So the school funnels, you guys can see this, yes? Yep. So the great community leaders, it's a free school. I offer free courses. I offer calls. I try to build relationships. And then the escalation offer, if it's the right fit, is from free to the cohort. Well, the way I've done that mostly is meta ads. So I do, I have a 30 days to paid video that does really well for me. It's got me new members at about $3.50 per clip, and I spend about $20 a day. So it costs, $600 a month, but I get new members, and typically there's been a really good ROI on that, and so it's done really well. One of the reasons, and this won't apply to any of you probably, but one of the reasons I have to stop doing that video is because it still mentions that I'm the CMO of that pickleball school in Savvy Basketball, and so it's outdated, which is unfortunate because it is such a good video. Also, I kind of want to get away from 30 days to paid as my lead magnet. So that's why I'm wanting to build a new funnel anyway. But I've been very happy with the results of this. And this has been pure meta ads, straight to school, no landing page, no collect email, just straight to school.
And Jason, just
Mhm.
one video, because when I started with the meta ads, I created 3 variants of my clips, and then meta did thing. Have you done just, which was just one video, or you tried 2, 3 clips?
I can actually, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up over here so I don't show you anyone else's account by accident. I don't mind sharing my stuff, but I do get myself in trouble sharing other people's stuff. So I believe the video was the main one. I may have had a still image. Let's see. Is it 30 days paid? I think this was the most recent one. Yeah, you can see the creative in this was just that one video. I messed around with, these. So these call out ads where it looks like this. Am I sharing my screen?
We see your meta.
Okay,
Good morning,
good.
Jason, ad account performance.
Wait. Do you see the one that I was just like the creative itself?
No.
No, we don't see the creative.
Oh, brother. Okay, hold on. I think I shared entire screen. There we go. Share. Okay, do you see this? It's a meta ads campaign.
Yes, now we see new 30-day to pay.
There we go. Okay. So the one that did the best for me, Charmaine, was just the video. Now I knew I was only going to run that over a certain small period of time. And towards the end of my launch, I ramped up to $100 a day to get as many people in as possible, which is also why my price went up to $498. You don't necessarily probably care about all this, but it was at one point it was at $1.90, which was just killer. Then it went up to like $3.50 for a while, and then when I ramped it up, it went up in price. But I only did the video. I do not suggest that, by the way. It's just what I did. And then this one, I did these call out ads where I just had sports or fitness coach join me on school. So I kept it super simple and did that as like in addition to the video, which this is the video. This is actually the worst video. This is this was just like a Loom video that I did because I got in my head about my video being outdated.
But it worked, you said.
It worked for me. Yeah. like I was willing to pay $350 a new member because my high ticket would more than overcome that. If you don't, whenever people ask, like, should I drive paid ads to my community? The question has to be, okay, what's the paid offer? If you don't have one, you're going to lose a decent chunk of money, right? Because you don't have any way to recoup that money. Kind of what School News was talking about yesterday. If you do have one, it needs to be high ticket enough to pay for more than pay for each new member. So like, let's say, it's costing me $350 or even $498, $5 for every new member, but I'm only making $2 per new member. Well, I can only do that for so long, right? Before I either need to introduce a new offer or stop running paid ads or come up with another way to recoup that money. But if I'm making $15 per new member, well, now my net profit is 10. So I can kind of look at that and see like, okay, does it make sense for me to keep running ads or not?
Makes sense.
Yeah. The other funnel that I use specifically, since my main audience is school community owners, is I can post or reply on schoolers or use, discovery. It almost always increases traffic, and I usually have a 20 to 30% conversion rate on people who view my profile from either discovery or from schoolers. And so that's just a matter of me going into schoolers and responding and making posts. And then finally, yeah, go ahead.
Just in one thing I'm thinking that as you are driving through your ads directly towards your school, people who are not active there will be tons of people who just joined and never came back.
Yeah.
Do you also do this Beehive newsletter on, okay, now you got their email address because they joined through ads. Now you send them weekly emails. So there is something that you think about, or this is...
Yeah, absolutely. So if most of your audience is either new to school or like for you in particular, I assume you're doing mostly, you're doing most of your marketing outside of school. You're trying to get people from outside of school to join school, which means that there's friction because they have to learn what school is. They have to register. They have to decide to actually go in, and then if they want to they have to keep choosing to log in. That's a different audience than what I have. And so for you, if I were you, I would collect emails first and send a weekly newsletter, make it super simple. And I can even show you an example of that. Make it super simple and try to convert people into the school that way or into your offer that way.
Yeah, makes sense.
For me, even though like I keep wanting to collect emails, I always go back to the fact that because my warmest audience is already on school. And so there's less friction for me and the people I'm trying to attract. Now, at some point, if I want to collect cold traffic, I probably would do more email. But I keep wanting to collect email, and then I talk myself out of it and say, just send them to school because you get their email anyway. And so I can still send emails and even a weekly newsletter if I want to those people because school gives me their email addresses. And so for me, it doesn't make sense to collect an email and then try to send them to school when I can just send them to school and then collect their email. So it's a little different with my audience versus like your audience.
Yeah, but they both are similar. You have the email address and you can use them to send them a weekly newsletter because it goes directly to their inbox and they can open
Yep.
it rather than going inside the school. Well, school also send emails, but I'm not sure how likely people will be opening your newsletter articles versus school emails. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you can broadcast on school every 3 days, right? So when you make a post, you can click that toggle to send through email to your members. It's my face. So like this toggle right here, send email to all members. So then that comes from school sends that. You have no real control over that. But you can also go to your member list and export your CSV file and upload this list into Beehive or whoever your email is through. And send emails that way.
Jason, do you have any data of how much, if you compare Beehive newsletter versus school alerts, how many people are more attentive to newsletters versus no? It's so hard to see.
No, because well, Beehive gives you the information, but school doesn't tell you who opened your emails. Right? There's no dashboard for school emails.
Okay.
But like Beehive, I can show you mine. So my last 4 weeks, my open rate is 31%. My click through rate is 2%. I would imagine schools is probably double that, but I have no proof that that's the case.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, until they decide, and maybe they never will, to share that information, it's just hard to know. What I like about sending the broadcast is usually when they click on it, it sends them back to school, and so we end up training them to re-enter our school, which is really what you want. Whereas this, like, they can consume if I send a newsletter through Beehive, they can just consume everything in here unless I, put a link basically back to the school.
Yeah, on that, I have a question.
Mhm.
So something that I like to do to keep people in the community is a challenge. Because like this goes beyond just like fill out these things, but it's like no, fill out these things with other people's feedback on that and like the accountability. And like you have the 30 days to paid
Mhm.
challenge, but like it's not
Mhm.
really framed as a challenge. It's more of a roadmap. So like when I think of a challenge, ideally it's something that is repeatable in a way, something that they can do over and over potentially. Or yeah, I'm just curious on how you thinking about a challenge and like is the challenge the lead magnet or are you thinking of it more as a nurture mechanism within the community?
So I think of challenges as attraction offers. So Evelyn likes to say, like, don't sell the bakery, sell the cookies. And so a cookie that you can create uh, in that sense is an attraction offer. And the attraction offer can be anything, right? It can be a free PDF, it can be just one course, or it can be a challenge. So I think of that as like a specific thing I can invite people into my community to do. And then the nurture part comes in after they start, basically. And the way I've done that in the past with email, so with Pickleball School, we did a 21-day mindset reset one time, and we didn't do it again. I don't know why, other than it's time consuming. One time we launched it. It started on this date, 21-day mindset reset for everybody in the community. Not only did we have the drip post in the classroom where you could only see day one, day two on day two, but you got an email that morning from us through Beehive that said, "Hey, make sure to go to school to do day two of your challenge. Here's what it's about." And then every day, so there was a drip email and a drip in the classroom because you don't get notifications from the classroom, right? You're
Yeah.
counting on the person to actually go into school, click the classroom, click day three, and then consume the content. So that little email reminder that was automated, we didn't have to like click send every day. It was all automated. Is like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm on day 6. I need to make sure I log in, right? So that becomes the nurture. So I like using email in addition to school to really get people to log in and take action.
Yeah, I think this is very important when we're getting people outside of school. Because like one of my earliest client was like getting people from LinkedIn and we really struggled like getting because like we got them in and they were like commenting a few things, but then they pieced out and we never saw them again. And I think like having an email sequence in place,
Yeah.
would you also do this for the paid community or just for a free community?
That was paid. Yeah, for
Okay.
pickleball. Yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
think I think free or paid. There's almost an argument that it's more important with free
Yeah, that's
because
what I was thinking. It's
yeah,
like
Yeah.
Because like we need people to give a reason to show up. If it's paid, like they're paying to show up, but like I guess we want to show people that they have been actually using it and then they're not gonna churn. It's like, oh yeah, I've like done all of these things and I did get good results from that, so guess I'll continue paying.
Yeah, and even you saying that, I'm like, oh man, I totally missed an opportunity to add a 30-day like sequence. Like I have an onboarding when you join my school free, you do get an onboarding sequence from me through Beehive, and it's just all automated. But I did not set one up for the 30 days to pay challenge. Like this is my school onboarding automation.
Nice.
Like I could have easily done this for the 30 days, even if I didn't send one like every single day. Hey, it's day 1. Hey, it's day 5, whatever. So that's totally a missed opportunity on my part to warm those people up even more and make sure that they log back into school. And I think if you have a 7-day challenge, it's even better because typically, someone who's like on day 23 of receiving your email every single day is probably sick of you. But in the first week, it's more likely that they're like, okay, cool. I'm glad this person keeps reminding me, that I need to do this. And so if you have a 7-day challenge, you can set up it gets a little tricky, but you can set up a Zapier with the plugin and the link and the link to automatically send someone or sign someone up to an automation sequence. And then they would get that email every single day. Hey, it's day 4 of the challenge. Hey, it's day 5 of the challenge. Do you have any questions? Right. So the same way you would do an onboarding sequence, you can do it for a specific challenge.
Cody had a question in the chat on how we get the email of the person on the paid to be on school.
How do we get this person's email? Like they join the school, and how do we recover it? How do we like grab their email?
Yeah, so if someone like opts in on the trial into the community.
But you don't always have the email if you're not asking for the email, I think.
No, you get the email whether you ask for it or not. Now,
really,
in the past, free.
No, but I just checked that. I feel like they reverted that.
Yeah, I don't see emails of my members.
That's interesting.
Because like when I go, for example, into my school community, like I don't see your school email. Because like I don't have any questions.
Oh, you have to click on membership. Okay, I see
No,
their
but
emails
even
now.
then I don't see it.
You sure, Lucas?
Yeah.
So you have to go into each member individually under their membership.
You don't have to. You can click export.
Okay.
And that gives you a CSV file. So like then if you click on this, this is all their email addresses.
Nice.
You know what? I don't see either. I'm at the same space. I don't see them. Some of them they join directly from school.
No, I don't think that's the difference because like okay, so sometimes I see it, but that was August 30. So at some point I turned off the email sometime in November and then I stopped seeing it.
Oh, so I have to manually turn it on to see the email. Is this the case?
No, you need to ask for the email in the membership questions. It was like, Jason, you are asking for emails, are you?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of if I'm a member of a community that I can look at real quick, or if I'm an admin in a community. So let's see.
Yeah, let me check in others.
Because I thought, so it used to be that you didn't get their email unless you asked a question.
Yeah.
Then I thought they switched. I didn't know that they maybe switched back.
I didn't know that either. I was like, why don't I have that email? I feel like I should have that email, but I don't.
Oh man, I'm not an admin of any free schools, so I can't check. Savvy coaching.
Wait, so is it automatically with paid schools?
It is automatic with paid schools. 100%. I know that's true. Like you don't have
to get the email.
That you get the email. Yes.
Okay, so maybe it's no longer for free.
Savvy coaching is free, and I see email addresses. Let me see if we asked the question. We probably do because I probably set it up. Yeah, I asked for email address. Huh.
So I should ask for email address again.
Yeah,
Because like I want the emails. I don't want like people to join.
Yeah, I remember Nate Hurt told me that like the first 100,000 people in his free community or something crazy. I don't know if it was 100,000, but something crazy. He did not ask for emails, and so he missed out on like all those emails.
Yeah, that's huge. Hundreds of thousands.
Right. So if you learn nothing else from this, turn on your questions, ask for an email.
And so you manually put the email, or when you ask email, it directly feeds inside? How does it work?
Like how does school collect their email?
Yeah, when you ask for email, they give your email. So you manually put the email inside school, or it's where
No,
it's
no, it does it automatically.
okay.
When you go to your members, Charmaine, do you have a free community, right?
No, I have a paid community.
You have a paid community?
Yeah.
And you don't see their email addresses?
Yeah, I can share my screen. I'm okay if you want.
Go for it.
Okay.
This is part of funnel building. So collect those email addresses, y'all. Do not let those email addresses go.
That's a big thing. Yeah, the emails is huge. I can't share my screen, I think. I'm waiting for an approval.
Permission, maybe. Let me see. Allow screen sharing. There we go.
So this is my community, and then so it's not a hobby. It's another plan. Going to membership. I see member, and the same thing for everyone here.
Well, kidding.
Yeah, and so
Realize that. So you have to have questions on. You know what? I wonder if you just have questions on if it collects their email.
So you mean questions?
Or you mean just any question?
Yeah, go to plugins, Charmaine.
Yeah, you
we
have
can
membership questions off.
Yeah, click membership questions. Click that on. Don't add a question yet. Don't add a question. Click cancel. Because what I want to do is I want to join your school, and I want to see if it gives you my email address. So will you drop the link to your school in the chat?
Okay.
That is wild. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm making a post in Scooters right now to get to the bottom of that. I also need to jump in 1 minute. I have my own community call. So
okay.
I want to see if we can like figure this out before I leave.
Pending, so you have to accept me. Charmaine.
I'll do fast. Pressure. Approve.
Gotta go fast. So now check if you have Jason's email. No. What if I join? So like ask a random question.
Yeah. Well, ask a you want to do a random question first?
Yeah. It was like if we ask for email, then obviously we're gonna get the email. But like
okay.
Go back to your other settings. You went to the wrong settings.
So you click settings on your community.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, plugin. Question. Add a question. What should I ask as a question?
Whatever.
How are you today?
No email. Yeah. Just add.
Yeah, see, they have an email address option. Okay, now you join.
So
hold on, don't change anything yet, Charmaine.
Yeah. I'm just looking at email address. They have an option here. Okay.
Yeah.
Answer questions to join group. I don't see a question yet. Let me reload.
Maybe because she was in it.
No.
Do you gotta
good.
Save?
I saved and
I answered the question.
Okay.
Yeah, now let's see. You answered the question. Let's see. Approve.
Okay, go to members.
Okay. Oh my God, I got 2 new members. Just kidding.
Click membership.
So membership, role member.
So
I
do
think
ask for the email address.
yeah, amazing. Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually need to ask for that. That's good to know. Okay. I'm off. Good testing, experimenting, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Nice. Cool. Oh, that was a fun little detour. Someone watching is gonna be like, these people, holy moly. But we all learned something, so that's good. Okay, and then the last funnel that I want to tell you that I had basically was YouTube to great community leaders. I make a video, I put my link in the description, and then usually in the video there's some kind of CTA to like join 30, get 30 days to paid by joining my community or something like that. So those are the 3 funnels that I currently use. What I want to replace is this paid meta ads one, because I want to get away from 30 days to paid as my lead magnet until I make a new one or decide that I don't want to do, like, I'm thinking about restructuring 30 days to paid a little bit. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to get away from this. And so what I want to show you guys today, basically, that all that build up, I want to send people to great community leaders. I want to, what do I have to ask? Okay, so that's the final point. That's the end goal, right? Go back to my questions here on my Notion doc. So that's the end goal. The customer journey to get there would be, because I'm not doing email first, I'm doing straight to school, would be this. So sees high value opt-in, click school link, join school. Okay, so we know that. So we'll do entry to free school. Option 1 sees high value opt-in, joins school. Okay. What's the free give? Okay, so I got to figure out what's my what is my high value opt-in. Okay, and I'm probably going to do. We'll talk about that. And then what's the entry point? I'm okay doing paid ads, especially since I personally don't have much of a social following, and so I like to do meta ads, even at $10 a day. So that is basically my funnel. What my funnel is going to be: traffic source, meta ads, high value opt-in. We're going to go over that, how I think about creating them, and then this is the journey. Sees the opt-in, join school, and then final end goal is great community leaders.
Jason, just before you go further, I just want to make sure that your free ads this time for the great community, they are directing towards your free community. Am I right? That's it.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
nothing else.
I'm not selling. I don't have a course to sell yet. When I go to sell a course, this would change a little bit. And I'm not selling directly my cohort. I'm only selling my cohort to people I've basically interacted with inside great community leaders. And so that's why my end goal isn't to sell the cohort for this particular funnel. Now it is, in the sense of, once they get to great community leaders, it's my job to talk to them, to introduce myself to them, to nurture them, to make sure they're a good fit, to have a sales call if necessary, right?
Yeah.
But for the sake of just like this funnel, this is the end point.
Okay, that's super interesting because sometimes it feels scary that one would spend money for a free school that those are. But the thing is, you are collecting. You have great success, like 800 ish. I don't know. So yeah, more than 800 now. I believe you have people
Yeah.
signed up here. So
I think I'm at 777. Look at that.
not too far, 800.
Yeah, not bad at all. I think I was at 400 just like 2 months ago. So it's wild. Okay. So knowing all this, the big thing here is, what is my high value opt-in and how do we decide how to create it? So if you currently have things in your classroom, this is a great place to start. For example, I did 30 days to paid. I've never done a funnel to build a better about page, and I've never done one to this school marketing masterclass or based on any of my videos. So if you are someone, I hate this herky jerky thing. So if you are someone who already has some things in your classroom, you can absolutely take something you already have and turn it into your high value opt-in. Because what you want to do is direct people straight to your school. And
And
so, go ahead.
so when you have those high value opt-ins here, it's again, the free community versus the paid cohort. When you will be doing your paid cohort, there will be some repetitive lessons that people can find in free and that you are rediscussing in paid.
Yeah, so that's a good aside. That's a really great question. So one of the other mistakes that I think people make is they build these high value opt-ins not understanding what type of content to create. And the way I like to think of it is kind of a ladder system. So my cohort is specifically based on adding 3 to 5K MRR. Well, if you're someone who's not even making $1 on school, the thought of adding 3K to 5K is probably too far away. And so the bridge to that is the 30 days to paid program, which is why I think it did so well as an opt-in for me, and then an ascension offer into my cohort. So you do want to think of what your final product is that you are actually selling, what you have available or what you need to create in your school that naturally ascends that person to that offer. Like if I had one that was like, so let's say I didn't have 30 days to pay and I only had the 3-day about page upgrade. The 3-day about page upgrade is more for people who have the pain point of they started a school, they've worked on their about page 27 times, and they still don't feel good about it. That's a different person than a coach who's like, I want to make money on school. Or I want to make 1K as like in addition to what I'm already earning in my career, my life, or whatever. So like that's a different audience. And so I don't think the 3-day about page upgrade for me to get people to my ascension offer, it makes sense to use that as a high value opt-in. For you, Charmaine, like if your cohort is like, I will work with you to get you a new job, you wouldn't want a lead magnet or a high value opt-in that's like how to get a promotion at your current job. Or I'm trying to think, it wouldn't be, it also wouldn't be like how to get your first job. Because you're not necessarily helping people how to get their first jobs. You're helping people who are on the verge or just did lose their job. And so they have that pain. You want them to, do that. Now, another high value opt-in for you could also be like how to upgrade your LinkedIn page so that you're more attractive to potential employers.
Yeah. These are the things that I was thinking to make that LinkedIn accelerator, where I do that. Okay, optimize your LinkedIn page, create how to create posts, how to create LinkedIn newsletter inside.
Yeah.
Small videos around there. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
repeat the same thing in my cohort as well.
Yep. And I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
That is actually the best way to do it. If you already have a cohort or already have like a strategy, a system, whatever it is, taking that first slice and turning that into an individual course is actually the best way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That respond to my question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, let's say I wanted to create something new. Well, I have these foundations that we've been running through with the cohort. So, for example, the transformation bridge, you were a part of that workshop. I can take this transformation bridge worksheet, turn it into a high value opt in lead magnet to help people make better offers. but that's very much a piece of the cohort itself. So when I turn that into a workshop, now all of a sudden it's a natural ascension offer into my cohort. And in fact, like, I'm kind of talking myself into this. Maybe this is what my new funnel becomes, the transformation bridge.
Okay.
I also created this day one assessment. So this is a Claude artifact. We talked about Claude artifacts a few weeks ago. What this does is it walks you through the 6 elements of what you need to have a really like strong school community, and it reverse engineers where you are right now versus where you want to be. And so it helps you build it basically rates you on. It's a self-assessment. So you rate yourself, but you take the assessment and you decide like, okay, like you find out how far away you are from your ideal school community. And I can show you, instead of having to click through, we just did this inside the community, and you end up with an outcome like this, where it says like, hey, you have a clear, compelling offer, but like your delivery needs a lot of work. And then it even gives you what your day one move is. So this is a good example of an assessment as a high value opt-in that someone can join, take it, and get actionable advice to move forward with.